Родные, приветствую! В таком прекрасном месте, среди рисовых полей острова Бали, я хочу рассказать вам удивительную историю, удивительные встречи, которая произошла здесь. Я искал мастера по чайному мастерству, я хотел стать чайным мастером, и я искал проводника. И вот на Бали я познакомился с Дэниелом, это человек, который построил целый чайный храм такой на Бали. И я прошел у него обучение, я пил чай там 50-100-летней давности. Во время чаепития мы уходили в практике глубокого такого измененного состояния, хотя вроде бы просто чай. То есть очень необыкновенный и аутентичный подход к чайному мастерству. И чайное мастерство как некая духовная практика, которая ведет к Богу. Вот об этом сегодняшнее видео. Я бы хотел, чтобы вы получили возможность познакомиться с этим человеком и с этим местом. Поэтому усаживайтесь поудобнее, смотрите видео. В видео есть субтитры, поэтому вы сможете их читать, то, что там говорит Дэниел. И просто проникайтесь этой удивительной атмосферой его жизни. Я уверен, это принесет вам пользу. Благодарю, благодарю, благодарю. И мы начинаем.
I came to Bali on a mission to spread tea dao. I went on a walk and there was a man said, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I've been here for 8 months trying to find a temple. And he said, maybe you should build it. So he took me through the rice field and I saw this land and I started crying. And in that moment I said, yes, this is the spot. And the next day, I started contracts with no negotiation. When I was sleeping, I knew there was something more than what people consider to be normal. And I started to taste this more. So as I started to understand and practice and share these tools, I started to feel my divine nature from an emotional perspective. And this is the same journey I try to share with other people. For me, to not be myself is no longer a choice. And I feel that when we stop choosing to be someone, we become ourselves. And everything is like a flow. So it's been a long time since I had doubts in my mind if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But this is part of my process and a part of everyone's process. I had my full experience when I was 22 years old, and this was the tipping point for me.
Daniel, are you ready?
Yes. My mother and father, they have been together since they're 14. And I grew up in Chicago. When I was 14, I moved out of my parents' house. That's because I met my first teacher, who was a half Native American shaman, half soul singer. And his name was Jimmy Rogers. And he took me under his wings. And he taught me some very deep things about love and human connection. And one day he took me to the shopping mall. And I remember he said, "What do you see that's interesting here?" And I saw a teapot. And he took me to that store. And it feels like he bought the whole store. I started serving tea every day at his house. And many, many people would come. And they would think, "Wow, this boy, he's 14. What are you doing with this boy?" And she would say, "He's master." And that was like a joke. Jimmy, he didn't say much. But he would look at people and he would say, "I love you. Never forget that." And he would hug people. And so many people would come to receive this love. So I would be serving tea and he would be telling people, "I love you." And 2 weeks after I met him, he walked me around his property. And he told me, "Everything you see is yours. And soon I will go." And I started laughing. I said, "Okay, you don't have to buy my love, you know?" Because this was around 15 or 16. It was very strange for me. At one point he said, "I'm going to go now. And let's go say goodbye to all of my friends." And he held my hand and said, "Be present with me in this moment." And at the time I did not believe him. Nobody understood this man. But I remember I was thinking I'm playing a game saying goodbye to everybody with him. One day he said, "Call an ambulance." And he laid down. The ambulance came. And he was in the hospital. And I was watching him. And I could see he started to breathe and he looked like he slipped out his body. It started snowing. Yeah, I remember that moment. And then I find that everything was willed to me. In the will, it said something, or his message was to carry on service, carry on the service. So when I was 17, I had this healing house, this ranch. And I was receiving people. And this really started my journey in a very deep way. Singing bowls are a celestial instrument that have been brought to this world from God's consciousness. And there are something called rishis who peered into the celestial realm And thousands of years ago, they brought this technology, which is a tantra, to this realm. They called them spinning wheels, which could translate to chankara or chakra. And they give the direct experience of awakening the heart, awakening the soul, and feeling this connection to Supreme Consciousness. This is a miracle. And when we learn how to realize that this body is a system, a tool, an instrument of divine consciousness, and we learn how to use this system and take the tool of the singing bowl and connect to Supreme Consciousness, we start to burn the negative karmas of the past. And you start noticing the synchronicities, and the life becomes like an orchestra. And you start saying, this trumpet player does not belong here anymore. And you make the orchestra sound more and more beautiful until you become consecrated in the divine. It's not a debatable, it's fact. Because this is like a clinical trial that's done through a scientific process of observing people's experience. And most people have the awakening experience. It's only a matter of time. It's awakening the chakra system, and the person's able to experience this. You can argue about that. One can argue about this. And I would say, please come experience it.
Я знакома с Дэниелом уже год. Он проводит чайные церемонии здесь, в этом храме. Не так давно я познакомилась с его терапией. Я сходила несколько раз, и это был один из, наверное, самых сильных, глубоких опытов, переживаний в плане духовности, потому что я очень стараюсь соединиться со своей душой. И когда я прихожу к Дэниелу, и он начинает играть на чашах, он такой: так, вот здесь вот нужно подправить, вот здесь очистить, вот здесь освободить. И прям создает коннект с высшим сознанием.
Я здесь нашел себя. Я нашел звук своей души. Я соединился со своим высшим Я. И я теперь пою в унисон вместе с чашами. И я знаю свое предназначение, я знаю, что я могу помогать людям. И я помог себе.
Я поняла, как с помощью звука, который издают поющие чаши, более глубоко идти в состояние измененного сознания, то есть из которого получаешь инсайты. Ну, это как медитация своего рода.
Yeah, I said they realize that they're an angel. They're part of God's consciousness. They want to bring their love and bring it to this world. You start to become yourself, and you start to feel, wow. And then from there you just start to act, you start to live life.
Я очень хорошо через себя пропускаю энергию, и эта энергия светлая. И когда я в поле близком с человеком, я его одаряю вот этой безусловной любовью и светом божественным. Это раньше я делал неосознанно, теперь я это понимаю. И когда я обучился терапии с чашами, я получаю этот безусловный поток любви, света, энергии, и я могу им делиться. Когда я им делюсь, энергия человека также начинает течь природным образом, и много кто после первой же терапии чувствует очень большое изменение и во всех сферах жизни.
So through the therapy, through the schools that we offer, through the ceremonies, we start to be able to manifest our soul and the intention or the purpose of our dharma. And as you know, it's like something's being born, you know? It's like, wow, what is going on? You get like taken by the wings, you know, and you can't help yourself. And this feels so amazing. This is like a state of bliss. It's undoubtable. And at first, what's going on? And then all these synchronicities, everything just starts to, the band starts playing and you start to feel, wow, I'm living, I'm alive, I'm here, I've arrived. Yeah.
Я думаю, что один из его ключей — это то, что он очень много пропустил через себя жизненного опыта, и при этом он все это поместил в сердце. Очень многие люди это оставляют в своей голове, и вот это ментальное, вот это вот что-то умное, что-то такое вот значимое, оно часто бывает скучным, у него нет вот этой искры, вот то, что зажигает.
Because my mission is to help people realize what they need to realize to know who they are through the direct experience. The most important part, direct experience, not talking about it, through the direct experience with the least amount of suffering and confusion as possible. And the most important thing is to know where the point of work is, where you are. Are you jealous? Let's work. Are you angry? Let's work. But if you're saying you're not angry and you are, how can we work? If you don't know that the room is dark, how can you turn on the light? This is a process of self-realization through self-inquiry. First, I make contact with the person and I receive them as if I were serving them. And I try to feel them on a psycho-emotional level. I try to relate to their human experience from my human experience. And I connect to them on the level of my personality. And from there, I feel grace coming through my body. And we are able to go to do the work in the therapy room. And the person lays down. And I can hear the different bodies, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body, physical body. And I start to play each body and feel the field. And I start to make the fields come into one movement. And the bowls are specifically designed to awaken each field of consciousness. So for example, I've categorized bowls for the physical body, mental, emotional, psycho-spiritual, and inside the spiritual, the astral realm and the divine realm. They may be disconnected from their emotional body, physical body, or their spiritual body. So we work on fusing these bodies together so that a conversation starts to happen inside themselves. We can take the brainwave entrainment and bring you down to alpha, beta, theta at the same time, which is hypnagogia, the waking dreaming state. And from there, we can start to induce a state of consciousness that activates the glands in the body. And we can take the synaptic nerves inside the brain and develop new connections. And from this state, you start to generate a spaciousness and enter an alternate state of consciousness that you weren't experiencing before, which could also be translated to larger perspective of life. So we can start to connect all the systems inside of the physiological body, of the mental, emotional body, and spiritual body, and the person starts to heal themselves automatically. And it's a science. There's no doubt that the body knows how to heal itself. I have been blessed by a master, and I am continuing his lineage. And this man's name is Mr. No Problem. And his consciousness has been able to attract very high-level ancient tea trees, which connect to the celestial planes of God consciousness. So the energy is very pure because it's shared unconditionally. And it's served from a place of unconditional love and service, which is a channel into the celestial realm. This practice, we're smelling tea into this center inside the brain, which is the pituitary gland. And this is a crystal. And we turn this crystal on through the prana of the tea and the chi of the tea. The chi of the tea connects to the celestial gate of heaven. And we have this feeling of being one. And many people enter samadhi. And from here, it's transferred into the heart, which acts as a battery to distribute into the earthly plane. This is a celestial technology brought from heaven to this planet for this time period. And it's done by servants, which we call tea friends. And we try to practice the principle of aligning with the ordinary state of consciousness, not the special state, in order to dissolve the human I or human personality and to become empty of all concepts that are man-made from this world. And from this state of consciousness, it's possible to enter into an enlightened state of being. I turn at the camera and I smile. When I say finish this place, I mean to serve more people. And my body wants to work and serve. And it wants to become a miracle and share the miracle. No longer be a construction worker. It's around 12 years of construction. And now I'm 30. And I'm entering a different phase of my life, which is being able to sit inside the construction that's finished. This is my human side. I like building things. Being a human involves pain as well. And I accept that. Someone might take your money. Sometimes you feel upset. And this is beautiful. This is perfect. This is amazing. I think it just began, this love that we opened, that we've been talking about, and these techniques, this journey of self-realization. And what a beautiful thing to talk about. And I hope everyone that sees this film can feel this mystical dimension of life. And to invite this light into your life.